It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us as we turn our attention to something that all of us need to really be taking cognizance of this morning, child abuse and the shocking statistics relating to that here in South Africa. We'd love to take your calls, your questions and comments. 083-9133-728. Dr. Eve is in the house.
Yeah, well, we're also paying attention to 16 Days of Activism, no violence to women and children. And even though, Dr. Wasserman, you said earlier that there are no specific signs and symptoms, but as a mum, what do you look out for?
Yeah, there are some signs and symptoms. I'm saying don't get lulled into just thinking that if I don't have them, I'm safe. So depending on the age of the child, you know, the child will, if it's a child with sexual abuse, they will have constant pain and discomfort with their genitals. They might get into masturbation, which is different from masturbation, which is for comfort. It might be, you know, ongoing. There are children who, if with child with sexual abuse I'm talking, there may be children who become very sexually provocative and very sexually interested, almost in a way which is inappropriate for a child. They then grow into teenagers who are sexually either very provocative and very sexually involved, or else completely shut down their bodies and not interested in being sexual. Depression, signs of anxiety, signs of clinging, signs of nagging, wanting to be, attachment difficulties all the time, wanting to be with the parent, or if it's a parent or somebody close by in the home, wanting to be avoidant of that parent, really becoming a loner, withdrawing. Older children, teenagers going into drugs, into alcohol, into what's called, you know, defiant behaviour. So you pick up those obvious behavioural difficulties in young children, and you've got to know that this is a sign that there is something that's going on in your child's life, and it might just be that there is abuse. Eating disorders in young children, depression, eating disorders, depression and childhood sexual abuse go together, for example. So parents who've got children who are eating disorders, please, that might be a sign that there has been or that there is some kind of abuse that's going on at home.
Dr. Eve, in our studio this morning, we're talking about child abuse. We're going to our phone lines this morning, 083-9133-728. Anonymous, you live on our show. What's your comment or question?
Yes, how are you guys?
Morning. You can go ahead.
Morning, yes. I am in my 30s now, almost 35, but I did experience the child abuse while I was growing. I think I was about 5 years. But for me, my story is different because I was abused by another woman, you know, like her home was around our school where I used to attend the school there. And then she would like call us, but my parents, they didn't know what was happening. And even the other kids, because I haven't even told another person this thing, because for me, it's like unreal. So then she will maybe call me, and then I'll come to her house, which was built and everything. But because I was so young, she will like make me lay on the bed, and then she will take my underwear off, and then she will insert the fingers, those filthy things that she would does. And then afterwards, she will like, if you ever tell anyone, then I will kill you. So for me, it was like that. And my parents, they couldn't like understand why I wet my bed for when I was 5, because I wasn't wetting my bed, and then all of a sudden I was wetting my bed, you know. So, but somehow it does haunt me even as a child. Yes, and
That is perfectly understandable, Doctor.
Yeah.
Anonymous, we're here for you. Thanks for being brave. Thanks for talking about it. You know, we spoke about it on the show this morning, that speaking out about these things will help everybody who it's happening to as well. So thank you so much for your call this morning, okay? We see your tears. We really, really do. Dr. Eve, what do you want to say to Anonymous this morning?
You know, I think, well, first, as Ilana's saying, thank you for calling in and for sharing this with us. I think what impacts me mostly is that this happened to you when you were 5 years old and you're 35, and 30 years later, as you're talking about, you could hear that, you know, her voice was getting weaker and weaker and more tearful around it. I do want to encourage you to go for counselling. FAMSA exists. It's the same as Childline. It is a service that's offered to people. Deal with it now, even though it happened to you so long ago. As you say, the scars are still there with you. And all the things that you're talking about are just like textbook, unfortunately. You know, the encopresis enuresis that she talks about, bedwetting, soiling oneself as a young child. And also the story that she tells, her experience of like the woman. And I think it's so important that we hear this. It isn't only men who do the abuse, that there is women as well. That she said to her, you know, don't tell anyone, I'm going to kill you. Now imagine being a 5-year-old and hearing these threats and not knowing where to run, and that believing nobody's going to believe me. So, you know, as a parent, when your child says to you, I have a sore tummy, believe them. Because then when they say to you, I feel like I'm uncomfortable going to the woman next door, but you'll believe them more. They'll trust you to tell you.
Doctor, we want to touch on this, and I want to touch about all the other things that we have to tell our daughters, you know, how to be careful out there. Listen, this is your show. And sons. 083 9133728. That is our number to dial us this morning. Anonymous, thanks again for your bravery. More of Dr. Eve after this.